So hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been such a long time, I know. How have y'all been doing? I've missed you guys. So today I just want to share a story, something that I feel like I am going through a stage in my life that is kind of overwhelming for me. So I just felt like I needed to share a story about the different stages of life. So yeah, this video is about the stages of life, the struggles and the beauty inherent in them. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Please subscribe if you've not done that. So yeah. In a small village nestled between the mountains and the seas, there was a garden called the Garden of Time. The garden of the beginning was the first. Here, the flowers were tiny and tender, delicate, just beginning to bud. And there was a girl named Anene, for she was to see the world through her own lens. As she wandered through the garden of beginning, her eyes wide with wonder, she marveled at the world around her, laughing as she tried to capture the sunlight with her small hands. But sometimes the shadows seemed too large and the sound too loud that she would burst out crying in fear. And yet, each time her mother's voice and gentle touch would comfort her. In this part of the garden, Anene discovered the beauty of innocence and the struggle of vulnerability. As Anene grew, she entered the garden of discovery. Here the flowers were taller, bursting with colors and life. Anene raced through the parts of this garden with her heart full of excitement. Every day was an adventure, a new game to play, a new friend to make. She was just living the life. But as she ran, she sometimes stumbled, scraping her knees on the rough ground. Yet, at each fall, Anene learned to get up. Her tears quickly replaced by the thrills of finding the joy of curiosity and the struggle of learning. Years passed and Anene found herself in the garden of dreams. Here, the plants were wild and untamed, stretching towards the sky as though they were reaching for the stars. Anene, now a young woman, walked gallantly through this garden with a heart full of hopes and ambitions. She dreamed of success, she dreamed of love, she dreamed of making her own mark on this world. But the path of this garden was often confusing, with turns and trails that left her lost. There were days her dreams felt distant, and the weight of expectations pressed down on her like a compressed agege bread. And yet, in those moments, the garden would surprise her with a burst of fragrance when she needed it the most. In this garden, Anene discovered the beauty of hope and the struggle of finding her way. Time moved on and Anene found herself in the garden of harvest. Here the trees were laden with fruits, the branches heavy with rewards of years of growth. Anene, now in the middle of her life, walked slowly through the garden, savoring the sweetness of the fruits she had nurtured. She had built a family, a career, a life she was happy and content with. But this garden was also full of weeds, regrets, mistakes, missed opportunities that she could not ignore. There were times she questioned her choices, wondering if she had tended her garden well. And yet, as she looked around, she saw the faces of her children, her loved ones, her friends, and she knew She knew that the beauty, the joy of this garden outweighed the struggles of its upkeep. Finally, Anene came to the garden of reflection. Here, the plants were ancient, their roots deep and strong. The flowers were fewer, but their fragrance was rich and comforting. Anene, now an elder, sat on a bench, watching the sun set over the horizon. Her body was tired, and the aches of age reminded her of her fragility. But there was peace in this garden. And so Anina reflected on the journey she had taken, the garden she had walked through, and she smiled. She smiled at the very beautiful memories and the painful ones. For they had shaped her into what she was. And in this moment, Anene discovered the beauty of wisdom and the struggle of letting go. As the night fell, the garden grew quiet. Anene closed her eyes, feeling the warm embrace of the earth beneath her. The garden of time has shown her full circle of life with all of its struggles and joys. And as she drifted into a peaceful sleep, the garden whispered its final lesson: that life is a magnificent tapestry, woven with threads of joys and sorrows, of triumphs and challenges, of love and loss. And that is what makes life worth living. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to my story. I hope it's resonated with you guys. I hope a stage resonated with you. You know, you may be going through something right now that is not really pleasant. It's not really, it's not that great. I just want you to know that it's just a stage of life, and definitely you will also enjoy the beauty that comes with it, with that stage of life. So yeah, see you guys in my next video.